You've got the British and the French, who are obviously very devoted to the Sykes-Picot concept, that they get to decide who rules in Syria, right? Who gets to rule the Levant, the Eastern Mediterranean, the old Ottoman Empire territories. The British and the French, that's Cameron and Haig on the British side, Fabius, foreign minister, and Hollande on the French side. They're demanding that the United States attack Syria. This is the big strategic fact. The British and the French are ready to fight to the last American. Isn't that great? They want the United States in there invading, and they're bashing the hell out of Obama to do it. And if you're bashing Obama, guess what? You're a useful idiot for the Bilderbergs, the British, and the French. Congratulations. Are you on the London payroll? Are you on the Paris payroll? Are you on the Bilderberg payroll? Well, you should be. If all you got to do is bash Obama at the time when Obama has this interesting merit, say what you will, he says no to a big invasion of Syria, no to boots on the ground, no to a big air war. He knows how many airplanes will be shot down, how many, the heavy U.S. losses, and ships, maybe an aircraft carrier can be holed in the Eastern Mediterranean with one of those Yakonsk long-range, very powerful, very capable cruise missiles. So Obama, I think out of his own self-preservation, his own egotism, is saying, I don't want any part of this. The British and the French are screaming. They want the invasion. They want the U.S. fighting for them. They, of course, imagine themselves as harvesting the benefits of this. And how do they do this? Enter the left liberal. Enter the limited hangout. Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald, the left liberal, sort of civil libertarian, petty bourgeois commentator, writing in The Guardian, the London Guardian, normally speaking, left wing of British intelligence, left wing of MI6. And, of course, Glenn Greenwald, the interesting thing about Glenn Greenwald is he an implacable enemy of government excess? For example, on the great issue of the age, the great covert operation of our time, 9/11, September 11, 2001, what did Glenn Greenwald have to say? He hates 9/11 truth. So he is tainted by the fact that he is, not addressing the main object. And now we've got Ed Snowden, I think a useful idiot, a troubled individual, God knows what, an adventurer, a megalomaniac, or simply troubled. We don't know, maybe for money. It's impossible to know. And you've also got to realize that both of these creatures, Glenn Greenwald and Ed Snowden, are what you see, and behind them, what you don't see is something called GCHQ Cheltenham. That is to say, the British equivalent of the National Security Agency. And remember, everything that Fort Meade, Maryland, the National Security Agency headquarters in Fort Meade, Maryland, everything they know is known in real time to GCHQ Cheltenham. So much so that if GCHQ Cheltenham wants to wiretap a member of the British Parliament, they don't do it direct. That might be problematic for them. They do it through the NSA, which comes back and wiretaps the British member of Parliament or whoever it happens to be. So we're dealing with a limited hangout. How can you tell it's a limited hangout? Well, one thing is it's old news. There's nothing new. Nothing new. Pentagon Papers, nothing new. If you'd been reading Le Monde in the 60s and 70s, you knew what was in the Pentagon Papers. You knew that and more. If you'd been reading Agence France Presse, you knew what was in the Pentagon Papers. And similarly, Assange, right? The other great example of this, right? Ellsberg, Assange, and now Ed Snowden. Assange, what does he tell us? He hates 9/11 truth also. He has nothing to say about the main scandal of the age. And instead, he tells you a bunch of scandals that hurt who? Well, remember, right? Gaddafi, Berlusconi, Putin, Maliki of Iraq, Karzai of Afghanistan, Kirchner of Argentina, and on and on and on. Everybody on the CIA hit list, everybody on the CIA enemies list gets slammed by WikiLeaks but no U.S. politician, no Israeli politician, no British politician. I have to be vehement about this because left liberals are really stupid, and right-wingers, reactionaries, libertarians, really, really dumb. They can't see the obvious stuff. And they're all salivating. The right-wingers are salivating. They're going to take down Obama. Wonderful. Let's see what you're going to get. You're going to get an attack on Syria. The British and the French are still screaming. They want that attack. And they have a powerful ally. John Forbes Kerry, Skull and Bones Kerry, and his State Department clique. This week at the White House, Obama will decide what to do about Syria. Now, Obama's desire, and again, call it what you will, Obama basically says, I don't want to do this. This is bad for me. It's bad for Obama. Fine, we'll take it. It is bad for Obama. So don't do it. But rather, what we have then is a lot of really stupid people, a lot of really ideologized, pathetic individuals, a wretched excuse for an opposition, who are piling on to Obama, weakening him and intimidating him to make it easier for the French and the British to get the attack they want. Can you understand this? It's time to mobilize against the war with Syria. We have a very interesting article from the New York Review of Books, a couple of maybe last week or the last issue. David Bromwich, professor at one of the English departments in the universities up there, and he says, advice to Obama, stay out of Syria. That's good advice for any reason, no matter how contorted or inaccurate the argument. Stay out of Syria, but out. If the French and the British are really so devoted to this cause, well, there it is. Go for it. But not the U.S. And I cite also Zbigniew Brzezinski, who argues precisely in these terms, that it's the French and the British who own the critical factions of these rebels, right? The French, well known that they have a lot of these lounge lizards of the Syrian National Coalition, right? The front men for the terrorists. And then the terrorists themselves are loyal to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to the United Arab Emirates, right? To the other reactionary, unspeakable, absolute monarchies of the Gulf, and a lot of those are sort of in the British orbit, so you get the idea. So this is what's going to be decided this week. Kerry pressing Obama to make the attack. Obama doesn't want to do it. And then, every new scandal, right? Glenn Greenwald says he's got more scandals, more scandals, more scandals. Well, I'm sorry. I want to see your bona fides, Glenn. I want to see something about 9/11. I want to see something that overturns the official version on 9/11. The basic rule is the limited hangout artist, first of all, tells you things you already know, generally. There may be one or two things that you may not know that seem new. For example, in the case of Assange, it's that film of the massacre in Iraq, right, from the air with the machine guns. But even that was all known. What was not known or what had not been seen was that specific film. So there's the bait, right? The bait required to awaken the desire to bite and to make yourself into a useful idiot and a dupe. So Ellsberg did it with the Pentagon Papers. Ellsberg with, of course, Morton Halperin and Leslie Gelb in the background, with the help of Genoam Chomsky and Howard Zinn telling you what a great thing this was. That was one fraud. The Pentagon Papers obviously covering up for the CIA, right? Trying to whitewash the CIA on massacres, on Operation Phoenix, on drug running, on many, many other things. And to demonize the U.S. Army, right? To put it off on them, right? All the draftees, yeah. Get them. Get Lieutenant Calley. Don't go after Alan Dulles, but get Lieutenant Calley. And the other thing, of course, in the Pentagon Papers, there's nothing about the main covert action of the age, the Kennedy assassination. And then we come to Assange and Ed Snowden. Both of them are very self-righteous. Both of them are holier than thou, right? They're takfiris here in the West. And they say, We have nothing about 9/11. And in the case of Assange, he actually hates it. To fight to the last American. Isn't that great? They want the United States in there invading, and they're bashing the hell out of Obama to do it. And if you're bashing Obama, guess what? You're a useful idiot for the Bilderbergs, the British, and the French. Congratulations. Are you on the London territories? The British and the French, that's Cameron and Haig on the British side, Fabius, foreign minister, and Hollande on the French side. They're demanding that the United States attack Syria. This is the big strategic fact. The British and the French are ready. No to boots on the ground. No to a big air war. He knows how many airplanes will be shot down. How many had the heavy U.S. losses, and ships. Maybe an aircraft carrier can be holed. Payroll? Are you on the Paris payroll? Are you on the Bilderberg payroll? Well, you should be. If all you got to do is bash Obama at the time when Obama has this interesting merit, say what you will, he says no to a big invasion of Syria. You've got the British and the French, who are obviously very devoted to the Sykes-Picot concept, that they get to decide who rules in Syria, right? Who gets to rule the Levant, the Eastern Mediterranean, the old Ottoman Empire.